Right now, there are hundreds of websites selling your home address, your phone number, even a list of your relatives to anyone with a few dollars to spare. And if you aren't manually opting out of each individual data broker website, which will take you literally months, that information is just going to stay up there forever. So before you sign up for a service that doesn't actually fix your problem, I'm breaking down the 5 things you need to know when choosing a data broker removal service. We're going to talk about how the market actually works, the real differences between services, how to get full coverage, my recommendation based on what you need, and of course, the best available pricing, which you can find in the discount links in the description below. Full disclosure, this also helps support the channel at no extra cost to you, but we greatly appreciate it. All right, let's dig in. Here's what a good data broker service does. Finds every instance of your personal information online and removes it. But here's where it gets messy. There are 3 factors that separate a good service from one that is just taking your money. How many removals they complete, how they are going about completing these removals, and what else they're giving you other than just taking your information down. Now, not all data broker sites pose the same level of threat. There are prominent sites like Truthfinder, Been Verified, and Spokeo, whose business model depends on having as many profiles of as many people as possible with as much information in each of them as they can. And then there are hundreds of smaller sites, if not thousands of smaller sites that may have just a few bits and pieces of your information that they're trying to sell for marketing purposes or spam, you name it. And this is where services split. Some just try and delete as much information as possible, whether it's accurate or whether it's completely incoherent garbage, just get it all off of there. And they usually do this through AI automation. And then there are other services that have an actual person on staff that reaches out to the highest priority data broker sites. And then there are services, which we'll get to, that use a combination of both, a little bit of AI automation and a little bit of the personal touch. But to justify the monthly or sometimes even yearly subscription fees, some services will throw in little extras like email masking, which are nice and they certainly keep you subscribed to the service, but they leave pretty considerable gaps when it comes to thorough identity theft protection, which is probably part of why you want to get your information off the internet in the first place. I'm also covering another top pick that does data broker removal, but is also my #1 full stack identity theft protection service. Now, DeleteMe covers the highest number of data broker sites. Right now, it's around 850. And they'll scan for your personal data, and then they will manually remove that information from as many sites as they can. Now, because this is a manual system, they target the highest priority, highest risk sites first, and then slowly add more throughout as your subscription continues. Then you've got services like Incogni that are just focused on sheer volume. What we found in our testing is that they will flag hundreds and hundreds of instances of your personal information being found in their initial scans. But they break it down by risk level, but there really isn't a way to verify what information is actually being removed. Even if it's a different John Doe that lives in some corner of Hawaii that you've never even visited, doesn't matter, they took down that information, so it's another point in Incogni's column. Then finally, there's the hybrid approach. There is an AI system scrubbing as many sites as possible with a real human person on standby should they be needed. Incogni does offer unlimited custom removals, which is great, but the service I appreciate most for this hybrid approach, plus a few other things that we'll talk about later, is Optery. Optery is my broadest recommendation for anybody who is strictly looking for a data broker removal service. Here's why. First, they offer a free initial scan, which is super helpful if you just want to see how severe the problem is before you start putting any money into this process. Plus, they provide screenshots of the information that they find on these data broker sites before they do any sort of data removal. Now, this is one of the main things that I would love to see DeleteMe and Incogni start to do, because it gives you that extra layer of transparency to the whole process. You're not just blindly trusting a dashboard. You're seeing proof that, hey, this is the information that was out there. Would you like us to remove it? Here is what we found in our testing. DeleteMe actually had the fewest instances of our information being removed from data broker sites because they prioritize it based on risk before they start submitting any removal requests. Now, Incogni was pretty good at telling our researchers, hey, we removed your information from 215 sites and we saved you 161 hours and 15 minutes. That's a real example, by the way. But without any actual proof to back it up, you're left just trusting their dashboard and written reports that the problem was actually as bad as they say it was. Optery is the most transparent of the bunch. In our testing, one of our researchers had 385 different instances of their data being out there removed from data broker sites. Now, again, that's not just sites covered, that is actually shown proof of, hey, here is the information that we found. And by the way, we removed it, it's gone now. Now, DeleteMe is still number one in terms of sites covered, but if you want your information actually removed and not just covered, but for real taken down, we recommend Optery because in our experience, they have been the best at doing that. If you are more so interested in overall internet safety and identity theft protection, then hands down, my recommendation is Aura. Unlike the companies we've talked about already, Aura is a full suite identity theft protection service. If your goal is to be just safer on the internet in general, Aura is an essential tool to have in your back pocket. They do credit monitoring and identity theft protection that has just about everything you need to stay safe online, including a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, financial monitoring, even parental controls. They offer up to $1 million in identity theft insurance, which you can bump up to $5 million if you need. And yes, they also do data broker removal. Now, Aura currently covers over 133 data broker sites, which is obviously nowhere near DeleteMe's 850, but DeleteMe is just doing that one thing, taking down your personal information from the riskiest data broker sites. Aura will help protect you if someone happens to find that personal information and intends to use it. As of 6 months, a year ago, Aura only covered 30 data broker sites. That number is now 133. And I can only imagine as they continue to add more sites to their repertoire, what that number is going to be in another 6 months, making them potentially in the near future, not just the best data broker removal service, but overall the best identity theft protection. One of the reasons I recommend Aura is because they don't do tiered pricing. There is one plan that offers everything you need and you pay one price. We're going to put those prices on the screen now, but for the most up-to-date pricing, you're going to want to head to the discount links in the description below. You get a special discount and you help support the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Same thing here. We're going to put up the prices for DeleteMe, Incogni, and Optery. You'll notice that Optery does have a few different tiers depending on how much you want covered. We recommend if you're going to go with Optery, you will get the most out of it by using the highest paid tier. An important thing to note outside of the discount links is that DeleteMe only offers annual plans. Now, the reason they do that, apart from obviously, more money up front or whatever, is because data brokers have a nasty habit of putting information back on their sites and rebuilding people's profiles after they've already requested their information gets taken down. Whether that's, individually or through a service, you send a takedown request, they eventually comply, but then they might start putting the pieces back together and building a profile again after the fact, forcing you to submit for the opt-out again. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but it's not just a one and done thing. You can't just sign up for a month of Optery, clear out all of the data and then just log off, cancel the subscription. It's unfortunately an ongoing issue. They'll do continual scans and continual removals as things continue to progress. Once again, check the discount links in the description below for the most up-to-date pricing. If this breakdown has helped you make a decision, just know that those affiliate links also help support the channel, which we greatly appreciate. You can also support the channel by subscribing or even commenting below on this video if you have experience with any of these services that we offer, or if you happen to have any questions. We do try and answer questions in the comments or, make videos to help people work through this very, very frustrating sphere of being online. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you in the next video.